Got Jordan Burroughs here in Colorado Springs for your World Team Evaluation. Reflecting on Worlds a couple months ago and being a part of this process, what are your thoughts overall on your performance and the outcome and all of that?
It was solid. You always want to win every time you step into a tournament or event. So I didn't ultimately achieve my goals, but I thought I performed relatively well amid the circumstances, all things considered. I wanted to be a world champion, but it was a good tournament. Respect to all my opponents who did extremely well and placed higher than I did. Okay, go back to the drawing board.
What have the last couple months looked like for you? Have you been training? Have you been taking a break?
I have a lot of eating, a lot of training though, a lot of spending time with my family, really. Beacon is really growing. So he's getting into that stage now at 4.5 where he needs dad more consistently in his life. And so being there to take him to school, take him to gymnastics, to soccer practice, to dance class, all those things are extremely important to him. So it's been a really cool time to watch my kids grow and develop over the last 2 months consistently and not have to leave for a week or two at a time. Like they're really starting to establish a strong connection with me where I'm not just a disciplinarian that's here for 2 weeks and gone for another 2. Now I'm also the nurturer that's consistently there to wake them up in the morning, make them their waffles with the maple syrup, take them to school, and be there to pick them up as well. So it's pretty cool. It works out.
Good. So when you have these meetings with the coaches and you break down the film and all of that kind of thing, what's an area of focus for you over this next year?
Mindset. Mindset is the key instrument for me to be as successful as I desire to be. The toughest part about my career and being within it for so long is everyone alludes to who you once were as a young man. You got to just channel that 22-year-old JB, the 23-year-old. I'm 30 years old. It's been such a long time period that has passed and such a progression of my skills, both technically, but also I think I'm stronger mentally. But it's harder to stay within those periods of consistent thoughts because everything is not fresh. It's not this naturally young, innocent, oblivious zest for the sport. Now there's more at stake. There's more thought that goes into it. You're more cerebral about your position in the sport as opposed to just going out and just letting it fly in wrestling. It's easy for people to say, have fun, right? That's everyone's spiel before you go out to a tournament. Hey, make sure you remember to have fun. But for me, it's more as a competitor, I feel like a warrior. And I have to go out there and battle, but to channel that mind frame where it's going to be hard, it's going to be very difficult. You're going to have to not only take your opponent to deep water, but you're going to have to go to a place of mental discomfort, and hopefully you can maintain stability within that place, take your opponent further than he's ever been before, and get your hand raised in victory. The difficult thing about that entire process is you have to live it in order to get there. There's no flipping of the switch just in momentary time periods where you're just like, well, you know what, I'm gonna just chill today for practice and then I'm gonna go out there at the world championships and kick butt and turn it on and wrestle extremely hard. You have to dwell in the discomfort. You have to dwell in just the hopefulness of what you'll be able to produce once the time arrives. And so for me, that's become hard, having 2 kids at home, having a wife at home, having other adventures that I'd like to do outside of the sport. So it's tough, but it's still fun. I still enjoy it, and seeing all the other world champions around me now being so, we have ultimately 5 world champions in our lineup. Myself, Stieber, Dake, Taylor, Snyder. Like, that's crazy. 5 world champs in a lineup. I got to keep up. I don't want to be left behind. For a long time, I was the face, but there are a lot of guys now that are doing extremely well. And so in order for me to be named with those guys, not because of the titles that I've won in the past, to be considered on their level, I have to continue to win. I don't want to be recognized as the guy that used to win a lot and now is just holding on in his own age. That 2012 gold medal is looking older and older every single year.
And you got Jaden Cox in there too with your world champions.
Sorry, so is that, wait, how many is that?
6.
Is that 6?
Mm-hmm.
Golly. I forgot. Jaden, I apologize, bro. I forgot. And Jaden Cox, man, that's incredible. That's absolutely incredible. This is the best team we've ever had. Mm-hmm. And I challenge any historian or any guy from the past teams to come up with a time period in which you guys had 6 world champions in your lineup. It's tough. It's tough to beat.
So this is the year leading into the Olympic year. You've been through a couple cycles. How does that differ, maybe competition and opponent-wise, domestically versus those other non-Olympic years?
Well, everyone's jockeying for position to be prepared
Mm-hmm.
for 2020. I think that this has been an ideal year because all the guys that were ultimately competitors in the past were now teammates.
Mm-hmm.
We were able to be cordial and friendly. I was training with Kyle Dake and we were spending time together. Jaden and David Taylor were training with each other and spending time with each other and enjoying each other's companies because they weren't rivals at this particular moment. But as the weight classes condense, it's going to get a little more tense and things are going to be a little more difficult. The friendships will start to disintegrate a little bit and the rivalries will start to build. I think in this time period, we're just enjoying the moment, but at some point, it's going to get a little harder. It's going to get a little tougher, and that moment is coming very soon. I think guys will start to put themselves in position to get into those weight classes relatively quickly. What's up, Pete? And we'll see how things go. I think that we have a ton of depth. It's unfortunate that there's only 6 weight classes at the Olympic Games, but it is what it is. And the best guy will win and represent Team USA, and hopefully it's me.
All right. We'll go into some fan questions. We asked our fans on Twitter and Instagram to kind of send some things in, fun stuff. Our first one is from our Greco World Team member, Dalton Roberts. He wants to know what your fastest incline time is.
Ooh, Dalton is a small guy, so he's probably beat my time. I think my fastest time ever was like 28 minutes. Don't quote me on it, though. I always take some time off when I get to the top. It's tough, man. You know what's funny is I actually saw Dalton coming up on the way down this summer when I ran it right before we left for the World Championship. So it was pretty cool to see those guys. They're committed to it, and they live here, so they get to have access to it all the time. It's not easy, though. I've carried Beacon up to the top. I got engaged at the top, and I've trained at the top. So it's a staple in my training. I appreciate the incline.
Yeah, it's tough. I've done it once. I think that's all I need.
How'd you do?
It was a while.
Yeah.
Sarah Hildebrandt was coming, as we were coming down, she lapped us going up and coming back down, so.
Wow.
That was encouraging.
That's crazy.
So on Instagram, Danny Pierce wants to know, what is your favorite cheat meal?
Favorite cheat meal? That's a good question. I don't eat red meat. So at one point it was burgers. But since that transition out of red meat, I think my favorite cheat meal probably like something simple like pizza. Pizza, maybe like a turkey burger. I like donuts. I like ice cream. Something relatively simple. I need to stop talking about weight. Since I turned 30, my metabolism has slowed tremendously. I was telling these guys upstairs, they're like, how's your weight? I'm like, listen, I'm heavy right now. Heavier than I want to disclose to anybody on the internet or any of you coaches here. But it's a unique situation as you get older. When I was young, I could eat whatever I want. I ate a lot of fast food. I did my thing. I wouldn't weigh a pound over 175. Now I can have a bag of M&Ms and I'm 180 pounds. So it changes as you get a little older, but life's still good. Favorite cheat meal for me, yeah, probably pizza or like a nice turkey burger.
Mike Clayton, who works here at USA Wrestling with like coaches development, he wants to know what your thoughts are on kids under 12 cutting weight.
That's a good question. I don't agree with it personally. It's just something that I wouldn't like to do because I think of what I do now as a man and how difficult that can be for a young athlete that's just trying to embark on the sport. I think even competing at such a high level in which you have to cut weight is not a healthy mindset for a young kid. You see a lot of guys that are extremely successful as young men eventually burn out at a particular stage in their career just because they've wrestled at such a high level for such a long period of time. Allow for progress, for growth, for development. Recognize that you are not going to win a scholarship at this point. You're not going to be an NCAA, Olympic, or world champion at 12 years old. All these things will come with time. But in the process, you have to allow for these guys to, 1, enjoy the sport, 2, to gain technique and actually become better wrestlers, and 3, take care of their bodies. He's just on the brink of physical development. Like, he hasn't even hit puberty yet. This guy's about to be like 5 feet tall for the rest of his life because he lacked all the nutrients he needed and going through this integral part of his life. I think that I don't agree with it. If my son Beacon decides to wrestle, I will never let him cut weight. If you can't beat the guy at the weight class above you, you got to get better. Go back to the drawing board. Either you got to lift harder and eat more, or you've got to get better technique. So weight cutting doesn't mean much to me. I don't think that just because you lose weight and go to a smaller weight class, essentially that makes you a better wrestler. That's a misconception. If I'm smaller, I'll be better. But when you step on the scale, everyone weighs the same, and essentially you've cut weight, so you've lost a lot of the key nutrients you needed for your body to perform at an optimal level anyway. So this guy is healthy because he's moving up. He's feeling good. You just sat in a sauna and wore a sauna suit for the last 2 hours. You're feeling like crap. This guy's going to beat you anyway. So it's a waste of time. Leave that kid alone, man. Let this dude enjoy life a little bit. Let him eat ice cream and have Christmas cookies. Let him chill, man. It's you got plenty of time to cut weight.
Just a couple more for you. This was, a lot of people kind of asked a variation of this question, but you seem to achieve more each level that you went up. So when you look back at maybe like high school Jordan, what would be some advice that you would give him?
Let's see. What advice would I give to my high school self? I would say preparation would be probably the most imperative piece that I give to myself. Like, listen, you are going to be special. You have the qualities to be special. Even if you don't see it in yourself at this very moment, you're going to do incredible things. You're going to change the face of the sport forever. Be prepared for it. So you don't necessarily have to have it shoved at you like I did in 2011. Like, hey, you're the face of the sport now. Here you go. Your name's plastered on every magazine, on every poster. You're the man. Go travel. Tell kids why this sport is great and why they should participate in it. And you have to really go through a refinement process at that point and change a lot of the bad habits that you've already established for yourself, both morally and character flaws. So I think now just preparing yourself to be great. Like, listen, you are going to be amazing. You're going to have to do a lot of interviews. You're going to be looked upon as a role model. So you're going to have a clean rap sheet of social media. Look at how many people are being affected by social media posts that they made years ago. Kyler Murray just won the Heisman Trophy from Oklahoma. They pulled up tweets that he made when he was 15 years old. Like, hey, you used a racial slur or a sexually insensitive word in one of your tweets. And I think that a lot of high school kids are like, hey, I'm a high school kid. I can do whatever I want. No one's paying attention. But someday they will if you have any intentions on being successful. So that's the important thing that I would share for you. It's imperative that you understand at this point, if you want to be great, eventually you will. Prepare for it now. Think about it and live that sort of lifestyle at this point. Clean up your social media pages. Engage with people the right way. Learn how to shake hands, look people in the eye. Number 3 is educate yourself, become knowledgeable, appreciate the people around you, but also take college seriously, because you only have 4 years to not only become a better wrestler, but to gain most of the knowledge that is going to determine the trajectory of your life and how much money you can make. And then number 4, I'd say is, just learn how to be an ambassador for whatever you're going to do. Learn how to speak with eloquence. Learn how to navigate a room full of people that may be more successful than you. Learn how to be a leader, how to motivate others around you, how to elevate the people in your inner circle. All those things are important if you plan on being great. And a lot of guys have it, but they don't really see it. And so everyone wants to be good. Why not prepare for it right now?
Got 2 more and I'll let you go to lunch.
Yep.
Brad Bowles on Twitter said, if cutting weight wasn't an issue, doesn't matter what weight class you are, who are 2 or 3 current college wrestlers that you'd like to match up with?
Current college wrestlers?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that's a good idea. I was thinking, it would be really cool if we took this past year's world team and pitted those against the NCAA champions from 2019, right? Imagine the 2019 NCAA champions against the 2018 world team. I think that would be super dope. Some good matchups in there. But I digress. If I could wrestle anyone currently competing, I would say Bo Nickel, number 1. I really like Bo Nickel's style. He's got some unique things that I'd like to see if I could combat. Number 2, I would probably say Yanni. I think he's a good scrambler, quality wrestler, tough. And I want to wrestle good wrestlers, right? Like, because you ultimately, like, when you're a competitor, you want to see if you can beat those guys. He's really good in positions. He's really good at scrambling. I want to see if I can beat him in those. I want to see if I can out-scramble him. I want to see if I can get to his leg, get it up in the air, and finish quickly before he could begin to scramble. I want to see if I could get to a precarious position and work my way out of it for the score and just create excitement. So probably Bo Nickel, Yanni, and then let's see. I'm a big Nick Sirianno fan. I'm a big Nick Sirianno fan. So like I like Jerussell Sirianno because like I'm a brawler. That's kind of my style. We're both from Jersey. I'm a big fan of his. I know he's a big fan, or I'm a big fan. He's a big fan of mine. I don't know what I'm trying to say right now. Something like that. You guys understand what I'm trying to say. And like I think that it would be such a competitive battle that it would almost like come to blows. And that's what like I appreciate about him is regardless of who he's wrestling, he's gonna bring this no quit attitude and he's gonna fight for everything that he thinks that he deserves. And I'm the same way. And so I think that would be a great matchup of just like literally a testament of wills at its highest level. And so probably Nickel, Yanni, and Nikki.
Cool. We are 11 days out from Christmas. What does Christmas look like for the Burroughs household?
We don't get presents anymore like that. When you become an adult, you're chopped liver. All the presents are for the kids. We get a new box on our porch every day for Beacon and Aura. They got so much. I don't even buy them presents anymore because I'm like, yo, listen, you're going to get something from mom, dad, wrestling fans, family, friends. Everybody's going to send you something. So you just chill. There's a ton of presents under the tree. They don't understand the concept of time right now. So we're like, hey, Christmas is in 11 days. They're like, well, what's that? What's 11 days? How much time is that? What's that mean? But I think that they're getting excited when they see the stuff that's under the tree. So it's going to be fun. I've got to get Lauren something still. I still haven't got a gift for my wife yet, and she loves getting gifts. That's her love language, is receiving gifts. So I have to find something. But you know what's interesting is the more years that you guys been together, the more the expensive the gift becomes and the higher the expectation becomes. So it gets harder every year to get something that I will really be a head turner for her. So I'm excited about Christmas. Should be fun. I think that in this season of life, it's more exciting for me to see the kids' eyes light up when they open their gifts than it is for me to receive. So it's really all about giving and building and establishing our own family traditions. I think that's the unique part of life that we're in. It's establishing traditions in our own household as the Burroughs family, watching the kids open their presents and getting excited about the holiday and showing them the real reason for why we celebrate Christmas. And that's the birth of Jesus Christ. And so it's pretty cool. I'm excited about it, and it should be fun.
Very cool. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.